India stands tall on the world stage, projecting an image of strength and ambition. It proclaims itself as a rising superpower, ready to take its place among the global elite. Its economic growth fuels this narrative, painting a picture of a nation on an unstoppable upward trajectory. India's large population and youthful demographics add to the perception of its potential. The world watches, captivated by the promise of this Asian giant. However, like a carefully constructed stage set, the gleaming facade of progress often masks a more complex reality. Behind the pronouncements of power and prosperity, a different story unfolds. This is the story of a nation grappling with deep-seated challenges, struggling to translate its ambitions into tangible realities. It is a story that resonates not only within India's borders, but also across its neighborhood in South Asia. While India boasts impressive economic growth, the benefits of this progress have not trickled down to its vast population. Poverty remains a stark reality for millions, a stark contrast to the image of a thriving nation. Education, a cornerstone of any superpower's foundation, remains inadequate, failing to equip its citizens with the skills needed for the 21st century. Infrastructure, crucial for economic development and connectivity, lags behind, hindering progress and investment. These internal challenges cast a long shadow on India's superpower aspirations. A nation struggling to provide basic necessities for its people can hardly claim a place at the high table of global powers. The gap between India's self-portrayal and the lived experiences of many of its citizens exposes a disconnect that undermines its claims of regional dominance. This disconnect is further amplified in India's interactions with its neighbors. Across South Asia, India's neighbors are increasingly wary of its ambitions. The Maldives, a small island nation once considered to be within India's sphere of influence, has openly defied New Delhi. President Mohamed Muizzu has demanded the removal of Indian troops from Maldivian soil and has hinted at a potential military pact with China. This bold move underscores the shifting dynamics in the region. This shift is not limited to the Maldives. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and other South Asian nations are also re-evaluating their relationships with India. They view India's neighbors' first policy with suspicion, seeing it as a thinly veiled attempt to maintain control and counter China's growing influence. India's assertive foreign policy, often perceived as heavy-handed, has only fueled this distrust. The result is a region where India's neighbors are increasingly looking beyond New Delhi for partnerships and support.
Check, check. Check one, check two, check, check.
India's preoccupation with countering China has come at a cost. Its focus on containing Beijing's influence has led to a neglect of genuine regional cooperation. Instead of fostering partnerships based on mutual benefit, India has resorted to coercive tactics and attempts to block its neighbors from forging new alliances. This approach has backfired, pushing these nations closer to China. Foreign Minister Subrahmanyam Jaishankar's recent visit to Sri Lanka exemplified this counterproductive approach. Seen as a desperate attempt to win back favor, the visit highlighted India's anxieties about losing ground to China. However, such reactive measures are unlikely to sway countries that are increasingly disillusioned with India's approach. The more India seeks to control its neighbors, the more it pushes them away. Section 5. Military might or mirage. India often touts its large military as evidence of its superpower potential. However, size alone does not translate into true military power. Despite its numerical advantage, the Indian military faces significant challenges. Its equipment is often outdated, its training methods are questioned, and its operational efficiency has been found wanting, even in conflicts with smaller neighbors like Pakistan. Moreover, India's focus on conventional warfare leaves it ill-prepared for the challenges of the 21st century. Cyber warfare, information warfare and other asymmetric threats pose significant risks that India's military seems ill-equipped to handle. Until India addresses these fundamental weaknesses, its military might will remain more of a mirage than a credible deterrent.
Check, check. Check one, check two, check, check.
Section 6. Lost in translation, neighbors first. India's neighbors first policy, launched with the intention of strengthening ties with South Asian nations, has ironically become a source of contention. What was intended as a message of regional solidarity has been interpreted by many neighbors as a sign of India's hegemonic ambitions. The policy's emphasis on security and connectivity projects an image of India as the region's protector and provider, further fueling resentment. True partnerships are built on mutual respect and shared benefits, not on a hierarchical dynamic. India's neighbors seek genuine collaboration, not a relationship where they are relegated to junior partners. Until India recognizes this fundamental flaw in its approach, its neighbors-first policy will continue to ring hollow. Section 7. The Allure of the Dragon. As India struggles to maintain its grip on South Asia, China senses an opportunity. With its vast economic resources and its willingness to invest in infrastructure projects, China offers an attractive alternative to India's perceived heavy-handedness. From Sri Lanka to the Maldives, South Asian nations are increasingly turning to Beijing for support. China's Belt and Road Initiative, a massive infrastructure development project spanning continents, has found many takers in South Asia. Countries eager to improve their infrastructure and boost their economies see China as a willing and capable partner. India's attempts to counter the Belt and Road Initiative have largely fallen flat, further highlighting its waning influence. Section 8. A region in play. The geopolitical landscape of South Asia is undergoing a profound transformation. India's long-standing dominance is being challenged as its neighbors seek out new partnerships and assert their own strategic autonomy. China's rise, coupled with India's missteps, has created an environment where South Asian nations are no longer content to be treated as pawns in a larger geopolitical game. The question now is whether India can adapt to this new reality. Will it continue to pursue a policy of containment and control, further alienating its neighbors? Or will it recognize the need for a more collaborative approach, one based on mutual respect and shared prosperity? The future of South Asia and India's place in it hangs in the balance.